Maths is not just about numbers or calculations, but it is lot more than that. And every day, knowingly or unknowingly, you just encounter with maths. So you cannot avoid maths in your life. So this topic which we are going to discuss is one such topic which unknowingly we just carry out in our activities. Okay. So now today let us discuss chapter 2 of class 10 sets. Okay. And to help you to get acquainted with maths, your math facilitator Divya is always with you. In this video we are going to deal with the basic concepts of sets chapter and the problems we shall solve in the next videos. So now let's get started. Now in your kitchen, have you seen your mother arranging utensils? Yes. So how does she arrange utensils? She keeps all bowls as one set. Okay, all plates as one set, all glasses as one set, right? So also in your wardrobe you arrange all your clothes as one set, all your mother's clothes as one set, all your father's clothes as one set. Yes. So what are we doing there? So there we are arranging all the bowls as a set. Okay, all the glasses as a set. Yes, all the plates as a set. So we are arranging these things as one particular thing. Okay, so as a set we are arranging them. Clear? Now the same example if I take, now all of you who are watching this video come under one set. Can you tell me what set it is? It is nothing but all of you come under the students of batch 10. They are batch 10th class batch 2021. Yes, you are of batch 2021 10th. Yes, so all of you who are watching the video are of 10th class batch 2021. Okay, so you might be watching the video from any part of the country, but you are of this batch. Okay, 10th class batch and academic year 2021. Yes, so that means you can see that you have a common property. Okay, what is a common property? You are all of class 10. Okay, this year class 10. So here also you can see all the bowl has a common property, all the glass has a common property. Yes, and all of you have a common property. So now all the things which have a common property are brought and written as one set. Okay, so you can see all the bowls as written as one set, all the glasses are written as one set, and all of you batch 2021 students of class 10 are written as one set. Clear? So this is nothing but set. Set consists of collection of things which have some common property with them. Okay, now if I want to write the set of prime numbers, how do I write? You know that prime numbers are nothing but 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. Yes, so this is nothing but the set of prime numbers. Yes, so here you can see that prime numbers have a common property. What is it? It is nothing but prime numbers have factors only 1 and itself. Okay, so there are not more than 2 factors. There are only 2 factors, 1 and itself. Okay, so this is nothing but set of prime numbers. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now every set has something in common. Okay, so a set consists of things which have a common property. Clear? And everything in the set is called as element. Okay, so 2 is called as an element, 3 is called as an element, 5 is called as an element. Okay, so each thing of a set is called element, and you can see that every element is separated by comma. Okay, and the complete set is represented within these braces. Okay, so these are called braces. Clear? Brackets. So you represent it within a flower bracket. This is called flower brace. Okay, so now you have learned that set is a collection of things which have some common property or they follow some common rule. Okay, and all the things in the set are called elements, and the elements are separated by a comma. Okay, and all these elements are within flower braces. Okay, now we have discussed about batch 2021 class 10 students. Yes, so here also you can represent the elements of the set. Suppose there are, say, students like Ram, Raghu. So all these are nothing but the elements of our set. Okay, and Ram, Raghu and etc. they are separated by what? By commas. Okay, so these are called elements of the set. Clear? So now let us move on to the next topic. Now also you have learned that Natural numbers are represented by n, okay, whole numbers are represented by w, integers are represented by z, rational numbers are represented by q. Yes, so here natural numbers we have learned that you represent it as 1, 2, 3, so on till infinity. Yes, here whole numbers you represent in flower braces as 0, 1, 2, 3, so on till infinity. Yes, integers you represent it as minus infinity, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and so on till infinity. Okay, so without knowing this is a set, you have been using sets since your class 6, okay, even earlier. So this 1, 2, 3 are called elements of the set, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, all these are called elements of the set, and you can see that these elements are separated by what? They are separated by comma, and this entire set is represented between flower braces. Okay, now let us talk about rational numbers. You have learned that rational numbers are of the form p by q. Yes, where p and q belong to integers, okay, and q should not be equal to 0. This is what you have learnt about rational numbers. Yes, and because rational numbers you cannot represent, it is really difficult to represent every rational number. Yes, because there are infinitely many rational numbers as you have learnt, okay, and between any two numbers also there are infinitely many rational numbers. I hope you remember this concept. Okay, so instead of representing each and every rational number, we have represented rational numbers in this general form. Do you remember? So now this is also a set. Yes, so rational numbers is a set. They follow a common property. What is a common property? That it has to be of the form p by q, where p and q should belong to integers and q should not be equal to 0. Yes, so this is a common property. So we have represented this in flower braces, okay, this as a set. Now here you can see there are two types of representations of the set. I have represented in this way, okay, these three have a same representation, and this is another type of representation. Yes, so this three, now the first three are called representation in the roster form. Okay, so this is called roster form, where you can see I am listing each and every element of the set. Clear? So here 1, 2, 3, all these are elements of the set, and we are representing each element of the set. Okay, so this is called roster form. And here in the last example you can see I am not representing the exact elements of the set, but I am giving a condition. Okay, so I am not representing the elements, but I am giving a condition. Now the elements can be anything which satisfies this condition. Okay, it can be 2 by 5, it can be 3 by 2, etc. and so on. Okay, these are the elements. This is a condition. Are you getting my point? So here we are representing the condition. So this is called set builder form. Okay, so it is called set builder form. So these are the two types of representation of sets. One is roster form, the other one is set builder form, which is really very important to know. Okay, so in roster form you will list out the exact elements of the set. In set builder form you will just represent the condition of the set. Okay, nothing but you have learned that set is something which have a common rule or common property. So here you represent the common rule or common property. So that is called set builder form. Okay, you have to build the set. Okay, now to understand, to make it easy for you, I am trying to explain it in this way, that in set builder form you have to build the set. Okay, you will get a condition, you have to build it. Okay, that means you have to build the elements of the set using this property. Okay, in roster form it is already ready made. You can just see the elements of the set. Okay, by just looking at it you will know the elements of the set, but here you have to build the set. Clear? So that is called set builder form, and this is roster form. Most of the students get confused between these two forms. Okay, so just remember that set builder is nothing but you have to build it. You have to become a builder and you have to build the elements of the set. In roster form they are ready made, they are readily available for you, the elements. By just looking at the set you can find the elements. Clear? So let us try to understand roster and set builder form using few more examples. Now if I want to build a set which consists of all the vowels of the English alphabets. Okay, so how do I build it? Firstly, you should know that sets are represented by capital letters. Okay, so capital A, capital B, C, M, N. Okay, so they are represented by capital letter. Okay, so you will write capital letter A is equal to, you can take any letter. Okay, but it should be a capital letter. So A is equal to, so sets are represented within these braces. So you will write the brace and you will write X. Okay, X such that, now what is this X? We want to represent the vowels of English alphabet. Okay, so X should be vowels of English alphabet. Okay, so X is a vowel of English alphabet. Clear? And you'll close the brace. Okay, so this is nothing but set builder form. Okay, so you'll write the represent the set as capital A is equal to, within the brace you'll write X, and this is nothing but it is called as such that. Okay, two dots, you will represent it as two dots, so you will read it as such that. Okay, so you will take the elements X such that this X should be a vowel of English alphabet. Clear? So that is a condition, and the same thing if you want to write it in roster form. How do you do it? You will actually represent the elements in roster form. Okay, so this A, set A is nothing but, now you are saying X is X such that X is a vowel of English alphabet. Now can you tell me what are the vowels in English alphabets? So it is nothing but A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so we have represented the elements here. Okay, so this is called roster form and this is called set builder form, wherein you are just writing the condition, and here in the roster form you are actually listing the elements. Okay, and these elements you are separating it by a comma. Clear? Now the next example, suppose I take a set B. Okay, and B contains elements X such that the X should be the letters of the word school. Okay, so X is letters of the word school. Okay, so this is nothing but, now the same thing if you want to write it in roster form, it is nothing but X is a letter of the word school. Now in school what letters do you have? You have S, you have C, you have H, you have O, you have O, and you have L. Okay, this is nothing but roster form, but there is another rule for roster form. It is nothing but you cannot repeat the elements. Okay, here you can see you have S, C, H, O and O. Okay, so O is repeating 2 times. Okay, so this O you will write only 1 time. Clear? So the rule is that the elements of the set should never repeat. Clear? So you will write only once. The element should be unique. Clear? So though school has 2 O's, you will write only 1 O whenever you are representing in roster form. Okay, because the elements of the set should never repeat. Okay, they should be unique. Clear? So now let us take another example. Now let us take a set of prime numbers. So let X be a set such that X is a prime number. X is a prime number and the condition is X is less than 10. Okay, I am taking X such that X is a prime number and X is less than 10. Okay, this is nothing but a set builder form. I am giving the condition. So here let us write the roster form. So I am telling X is a prime number. Okay, so it should be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19 and so on. But the other condition is what? X should be less than 10. So less than 10 means from 11 you have to not consider these elements. Okay, because they are greater than 10. So the elements of set C are 2, 3, 5, 7. Now you can see each of these elements satisfies this condition. Now all 2, 3, 5, 7 are prime numbers and they are less than 10. Okay, so clear? So whenever a set builder form is given to you, you should know how to write in roster form, and whenever a roster form is given to you, you should know how to write in set builder form. Okay, so now let us try to convert a roster form into set builder and set builder to roster form, and I hope these two forms are very clear for you now. Now I have taken few examples. Let us convert set builder to roster and roster to set builder. Okay, so B is a set containing X such that X is a natural number smaller than 6. Okay, so what is the roster form for this? B is equal to X such that X is a natural number. Natural number starts from what? They start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on, but the number should be smaller than 6. Okay, smaller than 6 means you have to stop till 5. Clear? Since 5 is smaller than 6, you will stop till here. Okay, now the next example, C is a set of elements containing X such that X is a 2-digit number, 2-digit natural number such that the sum of the digits is 8. Okay, so it is a natural number and the sum of digits should be 8. So it is a 2-digit number. Let us write ones and tens. Okay, digits should be 8. Okay, that means now if you add these 2 digits, the answer should be 8. Okay, so you know that 1 plus 7 is 8. Okay, and 2 plus 6 is 8. Okay, 3 plus 5 is 8. Clear? And 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, and again 5 plus 3 is 8, 6 plus 2 is 8, 7 plus 1 is 8. okay, and 8 plus 0 is 8. Okay, now you cannot write 0 plus 8. Why? If you write 0 plus 8, it is 8, but 0, it is in tens place, so this becomes 0. 8 is nothing but it is 8. Okay, it is only one single digit number. Yes, but we want 2-digit number, so we are not writing 0, 8. Okay, so all these are 2-digit numbers whose sum of the digits is 8. Clear? So now let us write here. So the 2-digit numbers whose sum is 8 is, so it is a set of elements. So 17, 26, 17, 26, 35, 44, 53, 62, 71, 80. Okay, so you can see every element of this satisfies this condition. Okay, so the first condition is it has to be a 2-digit natural number. You can see all these are natural numbers because natural number starts from what? They start from 1. So all these are natural numbers. Okay, and they are 2-digit numbers. Yes, so the first condition is satisfied. The next condition is the sum of the digits should be 8. So everywhere you can say it is 7 plus 1 is 8, 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, so the sum of the digits of these numbers are 8. So these are the elements of this set. Clear? So this is roster form, this is set builder form. Clear? So now you have the next example, D is equal to 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so here you can see there is no condition, there are elements listed here. So this is which form? It is roster form. Okay, if the elements are listed, it is roster form. Now we have to write it into set builder form. So D is a set of elements containing X such that, okay, this is same for all the sets. Okay, so X such that X is an element of this set. So firstly you will try to find out some property. Whenever a roster form is given to you, you will try to find out some property. Okay, now by just looking at it, you can see that 3, 6, 9, 12, they are nothing but multiples of 3. In 3 table you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yes, so these are multiples of 3. So the same thing we shall write it here. So X such that X is a multiple of 3. Okay, so X is a multiple of 3. Clear? So D is a set of elements containing X such that X is a multiple of 3. But here you can see the multiple of 3 is stopping here at 12. Okay, so multiple of 3 and the multiple X should be what? It should be X is less than what? It is less than 13. Okay, so here you can see X is a multiple of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, they are multiples of 3, and the other condition is that X should be less than 13. Only then you are stopping till 12. Yes, so this is how you have to understand the common property of the elements, and you have to write the set builder form. Clear? And another thing you have to learn regarding sets is, now here you can see 17 is an element of set C. Okay, so you can write 17 belongs to C. Okay, so this is how you write 17 is an element of C, so you can write 17 belongs to C. So you will write belongs to in this way. You will write C and you will write a line in between. Okay, so this is belongs to symbol. Okay, now you can take a number 5. Now you can see 5 is not an element of this set C. Okay, so you will say 5 does not belong to C. Okay, so whenever an element belongs to that particular set, you will write 17 belongs to that set. Okay, so 17 belongs to C here in this case. Now if this element does not belong to this set, you will write 5 does not belong to C. Clear? So these are little things which you have to know about sets. Okay, now moving on to the next concept, it is null set. Okay, till now whatever sets we have seen, we have found that there are some elements in the set. Yes, now I'll give you another example. Suppose B is a set of elements such that, now this X is such that X is a odd number. Okay, it is an odd number divisible by 2. Okay, so you can see X should be the element of the set where X is an odd number and it should be divisible by 2. Now are odd numbers divisible by 2? No. So only even numbers are divisible by 2. So you cannot write any element such that it is an odd number and it is divisible by 2. You cannot write any element as such. Okay, because odd numbers are not divisible by 2. Clear? So there are no elements to write here. So we represent B as null set. Okay, so this is called as null set. Null set is nothing but where you don't find any elements in the set is called null set. Clear? So this null set you represent it in this way, and it is also called as void set. Okay, you call it as null or void set where you don't find any elements here. Clear? So you represent it with two braces. Clear? And you have to remember that this is null set and this is set containing an element 0. Both are different. Okay, here you have some element, though it is 0, but still you have some element here, but here there are no elements. Okay, so null set and 0 set both are different. Okay, so you have to not get confused with it. So null set has no elements in it and it is also called as void set or empty set. Clear? Moving on to the next topic, let us see how can we represent sets using diagram. Okay, suppose if A is equal to 2, 3, 5, 7 is a set. Okay, so you have to represent it in the form of diagrams. So how do you do it? You represent sets using diagram in a oval form. Okay, this oval represents the set. Okay, and what is the name of this set? It is A. So you represent it as letter A. Okay, so this is a set of letter A. Now all the elements which belong to the set are written inside this oval and the elements which does not belong to the set are written outside the oval. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, 7 are elements of the set. So 2 belongs to A, 3 belongs to A, 5 belongs to A, 7 belongs to A. This is what we learned. Yes, so this is belongs to. So 2, 3, 5, 7 they belong to A. So you will write here 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay. Now suppose if there is an element 8. Now is 8 an element of A? No. So 8 does not belong to A. Okay. So in this case you will write 8 out of the oval. Okay. So set are represented using a oval and the name of the set is represented here and the elements which belong to the set are represented inside the set, okay, inside the oval, and the elements which does not belong to the set are represented outside the oval. Clear? So this is how you represent sets using diagrams. Okay, now let us talk about universal set. So what is universal set? Firstly, let me give you some example. Now you have your school. Yes, in school you have classrooms. Okay, what do you have in classrooms? You have classes like class 1, class 2, class 3, and again in class 1 you have sections like A, B, C. Yes, so this school I will represent it as in a rectangle. Okay, so school I am representing in a rectangle. Okay, so this is nothing but school. Now in school you have classrooms. Okay, so these are nothing but classrooms. Yes, so this is classroom and this is school. Clear? So this school is called as universal set. Okay, so it is called as universal set and is represented by U. Okay, this is called universal set. Okay, U with some extended stroke. Okay, so your school is a universal set where in school you have classrooms. Also after classrooms you have staff rooms. Yes, you have staff rooms. Okay, and you have bathrooms. Okay, toilets. Yes, so in school it is a universal set where you have classrooms, staff room, office, okay, bathroom or toilets. Okay, so this is how you represent universal set. Universal set contains of different sets again in it. Okay, so now let us take another example. You have already learnt about natural number, whole number, integers and rational numbers. Yes, and you also learned about irrational numbers, and you learned that natural numbers are subset of whole number is subset of integer, and integers is subset of rational number. Yes, and you have something called irrational numbers also. Yes, this is what you learnt. You have something called irrational numbers also which are not rational. In your class 9 you have learnt, and irrational numbers plus rational numbers are set of what? They are set of real numbers. Okay, so you can take real numbers as a universal set. Okay, so if this is real numbers and this is a universal set. Okay, so this is real numbers. Now in real numbers you can see rational numbers is one set and irrational numbers is another set. So this is rational numbers and this is irrational numbers. Clear? So this is a set of rational numbers and this is set of irrational numbers. You know that rational numbers are not equal to irrational numbers. Rational numbers are different, irrational numbers are different. Yes, rational numbers can be written in the form of P by Q. Irrational numbers cannot be written in the form of P by Q. So both are different. Yes, but in rational numbers you have natural numbers, and all the natural numbers along with 0 is nothing but whole numbers, and all the whole numbers along with negative numbers is nothing but integers. Yes, so this is nothing but natural numbers is a subset of whole numbers. Nothing but natural numbers is a part of whole number. Whole number is a part of integer. Integer is a part of rational numbers. Clear? Now rational numbers along with irrational numbers is nothing but real numbers. Clear? So this is how you represent the entire number system in one diagram using sets. Now let us learn about subsets. Okay, so in the previous example you have seen that in school you have classrooms, you have staff room, etc. So now classroom is a subset of the entire school. Okay, so it is nothing but it is a part of the school. Okay, subset is nothing but a part. Okay, now here let us take another example. Suppose A is a set, okay, and A contains elements say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now if B is a set which contains elements 1 and 2. Okay, C is a set which contains elements 2 and 3. D contains elements 3 and 4. E contains elements 4 and 5. Okay, F contains elements 1, 2, 3. Okay, G contains elements 2, 3, 4. Okay, H contains elements 3, 4, 5. Clear? And I contains elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So in this way if you write, now J contains elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nothing but I am taking some elements of the set A and I am writing as different sets. Okay, so here you can see 1 and 2 are elements of B as well as they are elements of A. Okay, 2 and 3 are elements of C as well as they are elements of A. Okay, similarly 3, 4, 5 are elements of H as well as they are elements of A. Okay, so here you can say that all these, each of these sets are elements. Now the elements of each of these sets are also elements of A. Okay, so these sets are called subset of A. And how do you represent it? Now B is a subset of A, so this is how you represent it. Okay, B is a subset of A, that means every element of B is a element of A. Okay, so here you can see now there are two elements in B, 1 and 2. Now 1 is a element of A and also 2 is also element of A. Only then you will write it in this way. Okay, so every element of B should be an element of A. Only then you will say B is a subset of A. Okay, here in this example you see J is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now every element of J is also an element of A. Okay, so you will say J is a subset of A. Clear? Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here also you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But still we will take a separate set where this is a subset of A. Okay, so you will take the same set also and the same set is also a subset of this set. Clear? And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also you have 1, 2, 3, 4. That means every element of I is an element of A. So you will say I is a subset of A. So you will write it in this way. I is a subset of A. Okay, for a subset every element of this set should be the element of this set. Okay, now suppose if I have a set K equal to 2, 3, 6, 5. Okay, here you can see you have 2 here and you have 2, you have 3, you have 3, you have 5, you have 5, but you have 6 here in K, but there is no 6 here. So you cannot say that K is a subset of A. Okay, so you cannot say that K is a subset of A. This is wrong. Why? Because you have an extra element in case 6 which is not an element of A. Okay, so I hope this is clear for you now. A subset is nothing but if every element of this set is also an element of this big set, then you say that this is a subset of this set. Okay, and you represent it in this way. Clear? Now taking one more example, now you know that the set vowels contains A, E, I, O, U. Okay, and the set of all the alphabets of English, okay, they contain A, B, C, D and so on till Z. Yes, so here you can see A, E, I, O, U are elements of V as well as they are elements of A. In this also you contain all these elements. Yes, so you can say V is a subset of A. Do you say this? Okay, but you can also see that there are some elements in A which are not in V. Okay, suppose you take a element B, you have extra element B in A but there is no B here. Okay, so in this case you say that V is a proper subset of A. Okay, so V is a proper subset of A. Now here in this example, can you tell me which is a proper subset? So all these are proper subsets of this set A. Okay, because these sets contain elements which are also elements of A, but now A contains elements which are not elements of B. Now let me be clear again. Now here for example in B set you have 1 and 2. So here also you have 1 and 2. That means you are writing B is a subset of A. Okay, but you see that there are some elements in A. Now 3, 4, 5 are elements in A which are not in B. Okay, so you can say B is a proper subset of A. Clear? Now is J a proper subset of A? No. Why? Because you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are elements of J as well as they are elements of A. But there is no extra element in A which is not there in J. Okay, so you cannot say J is a proper subset of A. It is just a subset of A, but it is not a proper subset of A. Okay, but in this case also you can see V is nothing but A, E, I, O, U. Okay, and the alphabets of English are A, B, C, D until Z. Now all these letters are also there here. Okay, so we'll write V is a subset of A, but A contains extra elements other than V. So you will say that V is a proper subset of A. Okay, so I hope this is clear for you, the concept of proper subset. Clear? Now let us see another important property of subsets. So here you can see that A is equal to 1, 2, 3 elements and B is 1, 2, 3, 4 and C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you can see that A is a subset of B. Why? Because every element of A is also an element of B. Okay, in A you have 1, 2, 3. Now 1, 2, 3 are also elements of B. So you will write A is a subset of B. Okay, now the next thing you can see that B is a subset of C. Okay, why? Because every element of B, 1, 2, 3, 4 are also elements of C. Clear? So you can write B is a subset of C. But here you can also see that A is also subset of C. A is also subset of C. Why? Because 1, 2, 3 are elements of A and also they are elements of C. Okay, so if A is subset of B, B is subset of C, then you can also say that A is subset of C. Okay, by generalizing, if A is a subset of B and B is a subset of C, this implies that A is a subset of C. Okay, so if A is subset of B and this B is subset of C, okay, then this A is also subset of C. Now let me represent it in diagrammatic form so that it will be easy for you. Now A is a subset of B, that means if you have a set B, so A is subset of B, that means A is within B, inside B. Okay, now you are saying B is a subset of C. This B is a set which is a subset of C, that means if this is set C, so B should be within C. Okay, now you can conclude that A is a subset of C. So by just looking at the diagram you can see that ignoring B you can see A is also a subset of C. Yes, A is within C. Yes, that is what we have written here. Clear? So if A is a subset of B, B is a subset of C, then A is also a subset of C. Is learning sets interesting? So now it's your time to do it yourself. So you have to write this set in set builder form. You can see this is roster form since the elements are listed. So you have to convert it into set builder form. For that, you have to firstly find some common property in this to convert it into set builder form. Clear? This brings us to the end of this video and I hope you like this session. So give this session a big thumbs up, share it with all your friends and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any new video. Thanks for watching.